Hey Charlie, I'm gonna erase the markers on the password play. I'm gonna erase that for this. Like the other one.
All right, moving on. You just have the first measure, just two visits of thumbs, just that first ball. All right, let's do it very slowly. Each note needs to be lifted. Dum, 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 dum. 2, ready, and. Good. Now match articulation throughout. Ready, and. Again, ready, and. Watch when you come in. Make sure that it's very clear, fast air. 1, 2, ready, and. 2, ready, and. 2, ready, and. And ready, and. Ready, and. Ready, and. Ready, and. Good. Let me have the woodwinds that play in the second measure. Here we go. 1, 2, da. Good. Match what they're doing. The notes are a little bit clipped right now, it sounds like. 1, 2, da. All right, just the first two bars. Just the first two bars. Everything's lifted. Everything has separation. 1, 2, da. Good. Now, as you go up that scalar passage, push a little bit. Not necessarily crescendo, but I want the air to push all the way through. Just those two bars again. 1, 2, ready. Good. It has to be clean. The tubas and thumbs, you hear how that we kind of got blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Same thing again. 1, 2, ready, and. Let's try it a little bit slow. Just the first measure. Low brass. 1, 2, da. Ready, and. Stay clean like that. Ready, and. Ready, and. Ready, and. Good. It has to be like that every time. All right. This is the beginning. We'll keep going this time. 1, 2, da. Just brass, please. This is part 3. I want for all brass except for cornet 1. No cornet 1, so no melody. These are all lifted. All lifted. 1, 2, measure 3. In measure 6 and measure 10, if you have a half note with an accent on it, I want lots of front D, and then you have to back off quickly to let those quarter notes speak. If you have those descending quarter notes, crescendo all the way through. This is the same place again. 1, 2, da. That same style at 11. This is a march. In a march, all notes don't touch, with the exception of a couple of spots we'll talk about later on. But across the board, general statement, in any march, notes don't touch. That's what gives you the feeling of a march. Let's start back at the beginning. Have individual measure numbers? Okay. Measure 16, so 3 before 19. Anyone that has da 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 dum, da 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 dum, please write a crescendo if it's not already written there. It's in my my score? Is it in your hearts? Make sure that we execute that. Da 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 beep bump bump. We gotta push all the way through that. At 19, let's have no E flat clarinet, no piccolo for 19, 20, 21, and 22. E flat clarinet and piccolo will come back in. Actually, that's the way it's written. So the piccolo comes in the 5th bar there. Let's take out the E flat clarinet on this first 4 bars. This is 11, please. 11, please. T, da, 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 da. Drums, watch me. I need more of you in those bashes. Here we go. 1, 2, 11, and. So the second time at 35, we did exactly the same thing. That was excellent. Thank you very much. Can I just hear percussion? Percussion at 35. Here we go. 1, 2, 35. You hear how it's rushing? G, 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 G. You guys are pushing the tempo. I know this is marked 128. I am not doing it at 128. 116 is where it's going to sit. That's where I'd like to keep it. Here's 35 again, just percussion. I need a little more cymbals. Get the sound out to me. 1, 2, 35. Where are you hitting the bass drum at? Are you hitting the dead center?
Yeah.
Okay. Cut it in half. So you're hitting it in the center. Now let's hit it halfway between half, towards the top. Now that's still the center, so move up halfway between that and the top. Move up the drum, right there. Let's try that one. Not quite that close to the rim, but a little further up than that. Okay, that's close. Here we go. 35 percussion. 1, 2, ready, and. So hear how that it's got more articulation to it, and I need more of it. This is full band 35, please. 1, 2, za da da. Has helped us out tremendously. I'm not worried about wrong notes. I want to concern ourselves with is the interpretation. He's written everything in for us, and I want to play it exactly like he's got it written on the page. So all of those places where you have breath marks or where you have crescendos during a long note, make sure that you play it exactly like that. Let me go back. This is where that comes in, except I don't want the melody. 47, no euphonium. 47, no euphonium. All these quarter notes are lifted. They can't be too short. 1, 2, za da da. We've got all the notes now. It's relatively in tune. There's a couple of intonation issues, but we'll get that as we go on. Now, that has to match what's going on in the euphonium. So you've got to have the euphonium solo in your head, because we're not going to rehearse it with him right now. And you've got to drive that line, and I'll try to help you out with this. Let's go back to the same place. Watch me out of the corner of your eye, and I'll 47. 1, 2, ready, and. Now we need to take that and multiply it by 2. All right, I can tell you were doing it, now we just need to do more of it. This is full ensemble. Let's get into that. This is 35. 35. Oh, 1, 2, ready, and. Everyone that has that half note on page 2, that should be all trombones, tuba, bass clarinet, contralto clarinet, and bass sax. Dee da 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 da. It's marked mezzo forte. Change that. Come in at forte. All right. It needs to come in nice and full, not loud, but full. We need to hear that entrance. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. We go 4 bars before 79. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. Let's mainly color clarinet. Can I hear just the clarinets at 111? That's all, the whole clarinet family. So no saxes at this time. Here we go. Right on 111. 1, 2, ready, and bump. Good, okay. Mark in your parts, do not breathe in measure 115. After the dotted quarter note tied to the quarter, no breath there. If you've got to breathe during that 8-bar phrase, breathe somewhere else and make sure that 2 people aren't breathing at the same time. You may take a breath, write a breath mark in bar 119 after the dotted quarter tied to the quarter in that one. So we've got then breathe. All right, let's have everyone that has that melody. So let's add the alto and tenor saxes with us. Clarinets plus saxes. Saxes fit your sound inside the clarinet sound. 1, 2, 1, 11. Crescendo. 3. tia. Make sure to bring that out. Just those folks there at upbeat to 128. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Good. Now let's go back to 111. Full ensemble this time, please. Full ensemble. That is the most important part. Everyone with these dotted quarters slurred to the eighth notes, you have to do what we rehearse, primarily in the brass, what we rehearsed the other day. But it cannot cover this up, and I don't want them to have to play string. Here we go. 1, 2, 1. Everyone that is not melody at 111. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. They're leaning into that beat too every time, and they're not chopping. I know that it has a tenuto mark on it. Let it ring. Dee-da, dee-da, dee-da. Everyone needs to match them. This is back at 111. Listen, put your sound inside the euphonium, listen to them, and articulate just like they are. 1, 2, 1, 11. As we pull it apart, it's really going to make it sing. Here we go. 111. 1, 2, ready. from the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 from the end, please. 1, 2, da. Great. All right, great. You transferred most of what we worked on in the first half to the repeat. Percussion. We're not playing all the parts, and I didn't want to waste the whole band's time. Please take a look at that. The percussion parts are extremely important to this. The band's playing it really well now, so the next time we rehearse this movement, I'm going to primarily concentrate on what the percussion is doing. Okay? Great. All right, let's jump over to the fourth movement, please. Yes. Yes, just like the beginning. Thank you. What was the band once we started that crescendo over there halfway between 17 and 41, that's where we began the crescendo. We can't let it get heavy. This has to stay light the whole time. You're playing all the notes really well. When we first started off, I think you didn't realize how fast it really is. It's marked 160. This is 148. I don't think it needs to go any faster. So if we can get it at 148, I'm happy. Fred Fennell takes things fast all the time. He did when he was alive. So let's go back to the beginning, please, with that in mind. Here we go. 57. Then we have a couple of different statements of it. And then we have our cornets and our euphoniums in measure 75. Come in with, I'm sorry, before that. It comes in before that. Euphonium comes in with it at measure 58 with the melody. Can I just have euphonium and first cornet? This is measure 58. Cornet come whenever it's time. This is measure 58. I'm just going to give you one bar. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and. Da, I'm beating 1 to a bar. Da, dee, da, da, dee, da. 1, 2, here we are. One is cornet. important part there. All of this other stuff that's going on has to be underneath that. It's all marked piano, they're marked mezzo. This is full band at 57, please. 57. I'll start you off in 2, and then I'll go to 1 beat to a measure. 1, 1, 2, ready, and. Listen for the euphonium. First clarinet, you join the euphonium there on the melody about halfway through as well, so we can bring that color out, fit inside of him, but make sure that we can hear you. All right, this is 57, continuing on, please. 1, 2, ready, to upbeat to 105, where we have all the band come in, and it started when the low brass come in. Those are lifted dotted halves, so slight space between them, but we start dragging down. Did you guys feel it? Hear the metronome was behind us? Let's take this right on 89, please, with that in mind. Right on 89. Here we go. 1, Great, that's coming along really, really well, guys. The key thing is it has to stay light. It cannot get heavy at any time, even in the loud sections, we can't get heavy. Let's go back to movement 2, please. I really don't want to rehearse this. I'd like to just roll through it. Because Dr. Richardson, although our interpretations are very close, there's a few differences. So just watch closely. Here we go. Movement 2. let's go right back. That was really good until we got up to there, and then I'm really gonna pull there. This is the beginning. Nice and soft. That's probably the biggest difference between his interpretation and mine. So I'm going to hold that fermata, and I'll give you 3. So those of you that will need to release there, you'll release whenever the pickups in the next measure come in. This is, let's go, upbeat to 3 before 18, please. Upbeat to 3 before 18. Here we go. 2, 3. Those of you that came to the Wind Ensemble concert, something that I really noticed about the Maslanka was that Dr. Ross really played up the silences. That's what I want to do there. I think that really adds a nice effect to it. You're playing it quite well. There's lots more we can do with it musically, but you're playing it really well. It's time to go. Thank you guys for a great
Shut